start with a little tune, a Robert Johnson tune. The Harlem Renaissance was an intellectual, social, and artistic explosion of creativity that took place in Harlem, New York from about 1918 to 1937. And it really influenced every kind of art that came afterwards, which would be fine art, dance, performing arts, spoken word, and music. And it was a blossoming of African American culture. And the performing arts were such an integral part of it. The blues music that was being played in juke joints and all across the South and in just everywhere was it influenced the poetry of the Harlem Renaissance, especially that of Langston Hughes. And if we had more time, I'd get into that, but I'm just giving you little pieces because so much to cover, so little time. So, for example, in 1923, Bessie Smith recorded her debut record, which was Downhearted Blues, and she sold 800,000 copies. It's pretty amazing. So anyway, I'm going to play a Bessie Smith tune. This is one of my favorites. It's Weeping Willow Blues. So, went down to the river, sat beneath that willow tree, looked down on that engine, took my loving man from me, and that's the reason got the weeping willow blues. Climbed up on a mountain, high as any gal can be. Dewdrops on those willow leaves, Lord, let them roll right over me. And that's the reason got the weeping willow blues. Heard that whistle blowing, by money wrong and found, taking away that willow tree that gave me this sweet spell. And that's the reason got the weeping willow blues. Well, if you're broken hearted and your man is out of town, just go down to the river, bring a chair and then sit down. And if he don't come back to you, I'll tell you what to do. Forget about that boy because he ain't no good to you. Of course, I love my man, I kiss him morning, noon, and night. I stayed with him through thick and thin, I tried to treat him right. But now he's gone and left me after all I tried to do. The way he treats me pals to do the same to you. And that's the reason got the weeping willow blues. Yeah. Thank you so much. So, yeah, normally, like I have a whole slideshow that goes with this, but it's a long presentation. We're doing the speed version. So, there were a lot of amazing people in the Harlem Renaissance, and Louis Armstrong was there with his bands, Duke Ellington, Bessie Smith, Fats Waller, Cab Calloway, Paul Robeson, who was a black actor, and he was an actor, a singer, a writer, activist, and he actually was able to do serious drama, one of the first people of color to do that in the Harlem Renaissance. And then there were tap dancers. I used to be in a duo with a tap dancer. We would call ourselves Tap and Blues. So much fun. But so one of the tap dancers was Bill Bojangles Robinson. I never realized Mr. Bojangles is a song that was written in like 1968 by Jerry Jeff Walker, and I didn't realize it was about a real person. It's actually the story of Bill Bojangles' life. So it's a long song, so I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but I'm gonna play you a little bit of Mr. Bojangles, just because he was really important. He was an iconic African-American tap dancer. He did Broadway performances.
Of course, Shirley Temple.
Yes, he was in movies with Shirley Temple, and he was amazing. So. So what is the blues? Sunhouse, great blues player, he said, the blues ain't nothing but a good man going down the road feeling bad. There's all kinds of blues. There's happy blues, there's sad blues, there's very suggestive blues, gospel blues. So the blues is a very specific genre, and a lot of other kinds of music came out of it. There's, what I specialize in is Delta blues, which is with slide guitar I'll play more of, and Piedmont blues. Piedmont blues has an alternating bass line and a melody line. My captain, tell him I'm gone. Won't you tell him I'm gone? Tell him I'm gone. I don't want you. Cold iron shackles round my leg, round my leg. So that's a Mississippi John Hurt version of a traditional tune, and that's a Piedmont blues. There's jump blues. There's, as people moved out of the country into Chicago, there's Chicago city blues. Solo players started playing in bands, and it became electric blues. So, and then it turned into rock and roll, and there's a lot of different stuff. This is so this is a song by it was called Barbershop Willie Moore, because he owned a series of barbershops, but he was this amazing Piedmont blues player. Record company wanted him to make a record, so he went and he recorded 6 songs, maybe 6 or 10, I forget. And he realized he wasn't going to make any money with the blues, so he went back to his barbershops, which was a great loss for us. But so this is called Old Country Rock. you. Thank you so much. Let's see, I think I will do. So, another thing the old blues guys would say, they'd say blues is about telling the truth. I really like that, because it's kind of my motto in life. So, one of the great women blues, she was an amazing singer-songwriter, and she was a great guitar player, was Memphis Minnie. And she tended to I think every time she had a guy accompanying her, they ended up being her husband. So she went through a lot of husbands, and she always would only let them play rhythm because she would play circles around them. She was just incredible. So, yeah, this is a Memphis Minnie song called Too Late. Made you a pie, gave you a bed on my floor. Tried to give you a heart of gold. You're too late. Too late to weep and moan. You're too late. Too late to weep and moan. Well, you can tell your friends, baby was here, now she's gone. These are just some silly fundamental rules about the blues. So, most blues begin with, woke up this morning. Or, I got a good woman is a bad way to start a blues song, unless you say, I got a good woman with the meanest face in town. Or, she gave me turpentine instead of water. And blues is simple, so you got a first line, then you repeat it, and then you find something that rhymes, like, I got a good woman with the meanest face in town, I got a good woman with the meanest face in town. She's got teeth like Margaret Thatcher, weighs about 500 pounds. That would be a blues verse. Blues is not about choice. If you're stuck in a ditch, you're stuck in a ditch. And blues cars, Chevys, Fords, Cadillacs, broken down trucks, Greyhound buses. Blues don't travel in Volvos, BMWs, electric cars. And a blues lifestyle means you're kind of fixing to die. So it's hard for young people to play blues because they're not quite fixing to die yet. You know, so and that takes away the, like, blues is about telling the truth. When you hear someone like 16 singing a blues song, it's like, So yeah. So adulthood means being old enough to get the electric chair for shooting a man in Memphis, and then that's the blues. So the flip side of blues is gospel music. I can't separate them. It's like gospel music grew out of blues. Thomas A. Dorsey, he was a honky-tonk piano player, not the big band player, and he had this encounter with God, and he said to himself, why should the devil have all the good music? So, because they wouldn't let that music be played in churches, so he invented gospel music. He started academies all over the country. He traveled around teaching churches how to incorporate this music into their worship services. He had this, well, I mean, it wasn't all flowers and sunshine. He was in Chicago, and he got a telegram saying, come home, your wife and young son just died. And he went home, and he was crushed, and he said, I am done with God, and I'm done with gospel music. And he sat down at his piano, and he wrote the song Precious Lord, which Congress declared the gospel song of the century, in the 20th century. It was Martin Luther King Jr.'s favorite song, and it changed the whole landscape of gospel music. So, but there's a lot of different kinds of gospel music. I'm gonna play, I think I'm gonna do I have a lot of guitar heroes who are also heroes of the faith, and one of them was Reverend Gary Davis. And he was an amazing Piedmont ragtime player, but what he did, you know how I showed you how that has this alternating bass, right, and that melody line, but he would separate them out, and he would, he just was so creative. He wrote all these songs, and in the 60s he was a blind street musician, and young guys would follow him around for guitar lessons. They'd say, how much for a guitar lesson? And he'd go, $5. And the lesson would last all day. They would just follow him everywhere. And of course, he only wanted to teach them gospel music. The only time he would teach them blues is if they were in his house and his wife wasn't there and they gave him whiskey. But this is a gospel blues song. It's called Lord, Search My Heart. search my heart, that I might know when I am right, when I am wrong, when I'm in mourning, when I'm in mourning. Search my heart, when I'm in mourning. Search my heart, that I might know when I am right, when I am wrong. One thing that I love about blues is it uses a lot of poetic techniques that are in the poetry of Langston Hughes and other poets from the Harlem Renaissance. It uses personification, where you give human qualities to an inanimate object. It uses rhyme, obviously. It uses so many things. Metaphor. It uses imagery, alliteration. I can't think of any other ones at the moment. It's been a long day. But, so anyway, I thought I would do, one of my favorites is Crossroad Blues. See if you can pick out some of the poetic techniques. I used to call them poetic devices, and then I did a program for a grade school, and I said, what do you think are some poetic devices? And they said, your cell phone. And I'm like, oh, we gotta change that word. But there are a lot of poetic techniques in this song, so went down the crossroads, I fell down on my knees. Went down to the crossroads, fell down on my knees. As the I love this. So he played Delta blues, and he also played Holy blues, but the church people didn't want to buy Holy blues from someone who was playing Delta blues. So he had an album with his picture and his name, and so he made an album just of Holy blues with the exact same picture, but he changed his name. And he sold tons of them. Because they never knew about the other one, I guess. But I just think that's hysterical. And then, so they had him come into the studio. So they called Charlie Patton, some people call him the missing link between blues and rock and roll, because he went into the studio and, it was much cheaper for the studio guys to just record solo Delta players, right? And, they'd give him $25. But he wanted to play with a band. And he was one of the first guys to do that. So it kind of changed everything. And he had this really unique way of playing. So this is a Charlie Patton tune, Moon Gone Down. little time for any questions that you might have. So I think I'm going to do a couple of my original blues. This one is kind of a gospel blues. It's called It's Gonna Be Alright. Do you guys like to sing at all? Well, that was a no response. Well, anyway, if you feel like it, it's just a call and response where I say, it's gonna be alright, and then you say, it's gonna be alright, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. And that's like your whole part. So, you know, if you think you can handle it. Sometimes in the cool of the evening, sometimes in the heat of the day, sometimes when you're feeling down and lonely, listen blues tune I wrote. It's a true story. It's called Find Somebody Else's Heart to Break. I want to thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank you for listening on Facebook. I want to thank the Southbridge Cultural Council, and it's been great to be here with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you.